Montgomery 2320 Business Development Services. Montgomery 2320 Business Development Services helps people to develop and start their own businesses. We help those that would not normally get any help to start a healthy and sustainable business that will have a chance to grow forward. This is the 7th installment of our deep dive series, and this is the product of our social media management product. And so we're going to get started into this 7th edition now. This is getting where we're really getting into the meat of some things. Now we have, 6 videos that we already have provided and everything, and hopefully they've been able to add some value to you into your social media management program and process. Now in the seventh deep dive, we're going to address the change your paradigm and culture around you and your business to include an active social media program. This is very important. It is extremely important for you and your business to change your paradigm and the culture around you and your business to include an active social media program. The level of engagement that you have with your social media program is going to dictate the level of attention and awareness that you're able to not only capture but maintain, grow, and cultivate, for you and your business. And the reality of it is we have to change our paradigms, the way that we think, the way that our thought process around social media, and we have to change our culture around us, culture around our business, to include posting, to include short stories, to include taking pictures. Selfies are not just just a fun little thing to do, but taking pictures, becoming active, in our process, but we have to change our paradigm, and change our culture, around you and your business to include an active and social media program. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, first of all, we the first few deep dives should help to get you should have your feet in the water, getting your feet wet right now, extremely wet with your process of developing your social media program at this point. If you're actually engaging in the videos and actually getting value from them, you should actually be into a process of the first one, access and download the 5 major social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. Start using them daily. Address your fears. Why, what, where did they come from? Come to the realization that using social media is not an optional, thing anymore. It's not an option. Realize the importance of attention and awareness, and your attention market share for you and your business. How long will it take for you to develop a healthy social media footprint? You got to keep that in mind. What will social media help your business with? So now if you're focusing on these first 6 deep dives, by now, your mind is really abuzz and so forth. And the reality of it is change your paradigm is occurring. Now, if you're actually, like I said, into these deep dives, your paradigm is actually starting to, change. And so now also your paradigm needs to change, but your culture around, you and your business needs to change to include an active social media program. So that's the whole thing, active, what's that, it's a daily process, it's engagement, it's a process of movement. And so, to be active in your social media program. Okay. So what does that look like? Like I said, are you constantly, taking time to systematically, go through the process of posting, creating content, of interacting with others on social media, getting feedback from as many places and many sources as you can. It's a continual process. So as we, are in 2021 and growing forward, we have to really get our minds around, changing our paradigms and changing our culture around you and your business to include an active media program. This is where, once you get, at least, a little bit familiar with this process and get comfortable with this process, then you'll actually be able to address and understand, when you deal with, that person that you hire to be a social media manager, on a level that displays to them what you're actually looking for. Because the reality of it is, if you're just going to, hire somebody and, okay, you do it and, it's all on you, you don't even know what you're looking for. You don't even know how to hold them accountable. You don't even know what it is that you're seeking to, get from them to do. And so in order for, them to be productive and to be, successful in, in your business for you, you have to be at least, somewhat aware in order to create the culture around them so that they can, productively produce what it is that they need to produce for you and your company. So it's it's a cycle. It's a, but that's the culture part. It has to be a culture of it. And everybody that's part of your business, that's engaging with, at least ways that's engaging with the public, or engaging with others, or engaging with, other people on the behalf of your business, need to be engaged in this process as well. And see, that's a part of changing your paradigm, okay, and your culture, around the social media, platform, and that's active, so forth, as you develop this program, which makes because here's the reality: 9 times out of 10, it's a safe bet that everybody who works with you and for you is on some form of social media platform. I mean, it's a safe bet to make that assumption. So with that assumption in mind, it will behoove you to engage them in your program as well, so that way they actually feel included. They feel included, and they have ownership in the process, which makes them, more apt to engage on a level that's beneficial for them and for you and for your business. So, that's why, change your paradigm and culture around you and your business to include an active social media program. So look at your program that you have now. Is it active? How often are you posting? Are you interacting, on a continual basis with, certain number of people, or a lot of people, or just a handful of people? Do you have your regulars on social media, that are, constantly, engaging with you, from afar or close by? This is the active social media program that you want. It's not just enough, to have pictures out there, out there in the ether. It doesn't really benefit you very much if it's not active. The least ways, if you're not getting, feedback from your clientele, customer base, or fandom, that hey, I see what you're, I saw you on social media. I saw you had that new widget. I saw you had that new widget. I love that demo that you did there. On Instagram or whatever. Great. Great. Gives the people a chance. That's the active part. Gives people a chance to be, a participant in your process, which makes them more apt, to utilize you and to, grow forward with you as well. The activity that you produce on a daily basis on your social media platform is going to show you benefits one way or the other, as you're growing your attention and awareness. Change your paradigm around the culture, around you and your business, to include an active social media program. And here's the thing: once you start to change this around you and your business, it becomes, commonplace, which that's what you want. You want it to be commonplace. You want it to be second nature, to you and those who work for you and with you and that are engaging with you. You want it to be part of the environment, and what it does is, it really, we're in this interesting, these transitions in the world where everything is, kind of all meshing together, through technology and becoming more connected. We're becoming more connected, even as, individuals are becoming more disconnected. We as a whole becoming more connected, which is really, a weird, paradigm that we're all going through, a shifting that's going on. But it's imperative to understand that this is occurring. So while that's occurring, we have to be on the front end of this for our business and the growth of our business. So in order to do that, one of the greatest tools at our disposal right now is an active social media program. That's just the reality. One of the best tools that we have in our arsenal right now is an active social media program that is bar none, as we are in this fourth paradigm, from marketing and sales, and as we're in these new corners and edges of our culture. This is what you call necessary for the time, and these times are changing fast. That's why I kind of pause there a little bit, because we're actually entering into now, from a technology standpoint, we're actually transitioning into something where social media is going to be something that, if we got it, great. If we don't, we're going to struggle. So if we're kind of not in it, it's going to be harder to really get the audience that we need, because we don't have the track record of the content. And so with all the globalization of content, it'll be hard to maintain your footprint. So here's the thing, you need an active social media program now in order to develop and enrich your footprint going forward. Because once we get into AI, once we get into VR, once we get into all the technology that's already here, but once we get into active use of it on a regular basis, it's going to be imperative that you have a large amount of content out there that's gonna raise your algorithm above the others. This is just a reality. The deep dives that I'm going to get into next are really going to cover and address a little bit more of this, but it's imperative that you have an active social media program now, so that way you're not struggling so much in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. In the next 4 years, there's going to be so much connectivity throughout the world that you can easily get lost in that if you're not currently developing and building your processes and programs around that which is to come. So to summarize, change your paradigm and culture around you, your business, to include an active social media program. One of the things that you really need to address, ask yourself, how much of a active social media presence do you currently have? How much of an active social media program do you actually need? And make some notes. Start addressing them one by one. Here a little, there a little. Communicate with your team. Really get their feedback. What does that even look like for you and your business? Do you need to get a lot of customer interaction, or can it just be totally in-house? How do you want it to be? How do you want it to communicate your message and your business to the community, to your customer base, to your fandom, what have you? So ask yourself, what is it that you need to change, in your thought process, in your paradigm, and in your culture around an active social media program. I say these things because no matter what, a lot of folks know whether or not they have an active social media program or not. It's not one of those things that's just subjective. You either have it or you don't. And the reality is, a lot of businesses don't. If here's just a reality, just in Indianapolis or Marion County, if in Marion County, if every business had an active social media program, there'd be over 67,000 different firms throughout the county of Marion County, Indiana. That'd be a lot of content. You'd be seeing a whole lot. So the reality is, nowhere near that amount of businesses. That's just in Marion County. I'm not talking about the state. I'm not talking about the country. That's just in Marion County. Indianapolis proper. Alone. From the number of businesses that are active and operating. And so that's a lot. That'd be a lot of content being created. We'd see a whole lot more from a whole lot more people. So we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that. So that there in and of itself tells you there's a great big opportunity and a great big window for so many businesses to really get their feet wet right now in changing your paradigm and your culture around you and your business to, to include an active social media program. So hopefully this helped out a little bit. At this stage of the deep dives in this particular product, it's getting to a more senior level where the conversation has to really be a lot more, it's leveled up. The conversation at this stage of the deep dive is more leveled up, for sincere individuals who are serious about, really creating, value within their business and their company, in a social media program and platform, And so it kind of, it might even get a little boring to most, but the reality of it is at this level, now we're starting to get into some brass tacks. And so the reality is, you have to really be, up on your game. The gloves kind of start coming off a little bit more, and, it kind of gets a little punchy, at this level to get rid of the excuses. So I'll talk to you later. God bless you.